This spot has a lot of meaning to me because this is where I fell in the water. This is where I started, I used to catch fish here. As the tide was going down, this was the first place I could get to that had decent fishing. And as the tide fell lower, I would go chase that falling tide all around and get to better places. This is also the place where I would sit when I just wanted to relax. In the 2 years preceding my time on alone, I had lost my career in Brazil as a missionary. I had lost my marriage. I had spent every last dime of money I had to afford for gear for this trip. My Jeep was totaled. My daughter moved into my apartment. And after 6 days, I remember coming to this exact spot and thinking, everything's been stripped away. Everything that gave me a sense of life or peace or purpose or meaning in this world was gone. And I remember praying at this exact spot and I said, Lord, you've taken everything away from me now. And you've literally exiled me into a rock on the north end of nowhere. And I've got a backpack with some gear, no food, no place to live. And the only thing left I have to lose is my life or my health. And I'm in the highest concentration of black bears and cougars on the planet. And I was okay with it. Because I knew that God was in control, and I knew that He gave me, that I was here by His hand. And I remember reading some online commentators saying that, oh, his faith is, he's going to find out that that's all worthless and meaningless. And I found out just the opposite. Absolutely. That when everything was taken away, and I hadn't lost my faith, everything was gone. Except I knew that God loved me. And I knew He had a plan for me. I knew He had a purpose for me. I knew He had called me to this place, and that His purpose was going to bear itself out. And nothing could stop that. And He was faithful to me here. He gave me moment by moment the strength I needed to endure 66 days in this place. In that time leading up to coming out here on the show, I really wondered what God was up to. That everything I built up in my entire lifetime was being taken away from me. And there was nothing I could do about it. I felt like I was T-boned in the intersection of life. And I'm laying there in this smoking wreckage of what had been everything that I had known. And I look up and I see the face of Jesus looking in the window. And I said, Lord, I got hit by a truck. And He's like, yeah, I know, I was driving it. He allowed those things to happen to me. He allowed everything to be taken away. Not that I had no part in it, but I did. But it was gone, nonetheless. Whether by my hand or someone else's, it was all gone. It was here in this cove that He reduced me to nothing. He brought me to the very limit of myself, the limit of my endurance, the limit of my ideas, everything that I thought I was good at. He got me to the very end of it. And I had no strength left. And He gave me strength. I would pray out here, Lord, show me the things in this cove that You need me to see and help me to draw the right conclusions from them. And He did. And I figured it out. Day by day, little small advances piled up until I found myself in a sustainable lifestyle out here. Where I was eating fish, I was eating crabs, I was eating limpets. I was carrying on one day at a time. And there was no reason for me to leave. I felt like He had me in a test to see if I would trust Him for the next moment, for the next day, for the next week. Just trust Him. Just continue to do what I had to do and trust Him for the results. And as long as that was going on, I could not I couldn't say, yeah, I'm going to call this off. I'm just going to go home. I don't want to be in this trial anymore. Because I didn't have any option. He had boxed me in. I was in the neck of the funnel. And the only way for me to get forward in life was to stay here as long as I possibly could. And I honestly did not expect I was going to win. I expected I was going to go out on a backboard, that I was going to slip in these rocks and break a bone or have a head injury or At some point they were going to tell me I had to leave. And we know the rest of the story. Day 66 was that day. And this place was the place where I found peace. The top of this rock, on my rocky point, overlooking my reef. What a glorious thing to be back here. One thing that I'm finding really surprising is how easy I'm moving around right now. That I just had a big turkey sandwich on the boat ride on the way out here. I'm fully fed, I'm perfectly healthy, and it's just easy. And people say, well, if I was there, I would just... And they're coming from this perspective, being this healthy and this energetic. And it's a beautiful day, too. There's nothing that would impede me here. It's just incredible how easy it is right now that I'm fully healthy and have all of my body. There's no that hunger, starvation, fatigue extends distances and makes mountains out of molehills. And you're working on such a low ebb that things seem like they're far away. I'm looking at the channel there to get on my reef. It's still too deep. I can't get across. So this is where I would wait. And as the tide went out, I could get to my better fishing spots. And today I'd like to walk around the cove as the tide gets lower and show you some of the places that God provided for me and the things that He gave me here. It's just incredible to me that I'm back in this place right now. I can't tell you how good this feels.